Projects come about in all types of different ways, sometimes new, sometimes old. In my line of work, every day is a new opportunity. I get a call from Jeremy. He lives on the other side of the country, and he's saying he recently acquired one of my creations. You made it.
Yes, long trip.
How's it going, man?
How you doing?
Man, you are loaded down.
Yeah.
Hi.
How's the
Good
trip?
to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Man, I recognize that silhouette.
Yeah.
I thought it went to Arizona, but you're in Missouri.
Yes.
Let's
She's
see.
been around the block a few times. When I first saw the car, believe it or not, I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and I thought for sure, like, that's definitely a car that needs put back together.
Let's see what's going on under here.
All right, don't get nervous.
I was born not nervous. I know the way cars go. I've sold so many projects that a month later, they don't look anything like what they used to. Oh, wow. They didn't even paint it. They went to a paint shop.
Oh, yeah?
I thought that was the first thing you would do with it.
Well, I'm definitely glad they didn't.
Nice. Pulling this cover off, I didn't know what to expect. That's the car I remember. This car and I have quite a history together. Let's get it in the shop and kind of do an inventory and see what we're dealing with.
Okay.
The thing about this vehicle is it's like it got kind of short-ended. As developed as it was, I always wanted so much more from it. Well, the good news is you got stuff, like the car body. The bad but not so bad is we're gonna have to get a lot more. Detail on this frame, I really like it. Whoever was doing this, they replicated these cup shapes. That's what the original one was. I mean, we got a lot of potential here for sure. My favorite part of every project is the first 30 seconds. You know, that moment of inspiration. I spent so much time staring at this car in its first incarnation, you know, now I get to revisit it with fresh eyes. When I built this thing, you know, it was just a different time in my life, different frame of mind, you know? And it's like, it still holds up today, but a little older, a little wiser. You know, I'm not saying I regret anything, but I think we could really push this thing, like, into the future.
Well, you act like it's no big deal. I mean,
No,
you
I've
think?
been down this road. I mean, that's what I do, man. Time to get this thing back together.
It is, it's a basket case. It's a group of parts that need assembled somehow and put together in a nice little neat box to fit in the nice little spot that everything has to fit. Do you think you have a game plan, or do you?
I got a million ideas, man. Just let's roll with it.
So we're not gonna like draw it out or take some notes?
No,
You got
no.
paper and pen?
Nah,
we can
don't-
take notes.
You don't even want to see how I draw a line.
I do have a surprise for you in the back of the truck.
That's why it's sitting so low. You got some junk in the trunk.
What do you think of this?
Oh, wow. That looks like exactly what I started with. I don't know where he got this engine. Somehow he saw the photos and got what was there. Wait a second, what? Is this like some mini truck and stuff?
Yeah.
With the bed dancing?
Uh-huh. That's next. Let me turn on the music.
As conservative as Jeremy appears, you could tell he's got some tricks up his sleeve. Now it's starting to get interesting. That is freaking cool.
Yeah, I figured he would like that out of the stuff that he likes.
There it is, man. Put some wires to it and start her up. The whole time I'm thinking, what are we gonna do about the engine? And there it is. And it's a runner.
Yes, I thought you'd like that. I know he's thinking hard about this, which is, I mean, that's like icing on the cake. If he's thinking, that means he's dreaming something wild up, and that's all we could all hope for.
I know you gotta hit the road, but I'm gonna get started this afternoon, man.
Hey.
I got ideas.
Man with a plan.
I got the rear chassis and suspension all finalized. I also did some sheet metal work, and it's looking good. The goal from the jump was to get more room in this thing, and I think I'm already on the right path. I really want to get the front of the chassis fitted and then put the front axle in as well. So here is where we deviate from the plan. The way these frame rails are set up is a very simple design in that he just kicked them in and rounded the front. I like this detail, but he started to just make it kind of angled in. I want to make it come around. Because of the end result I'm looking for, it's going to require a little bit of unorthodox thinking. You know, it's going to be a lot of labor, but the result will be worth it. So you may have been asking yourself, how the heck is he going to bend a 2 by 4 inch rectangle tube on that tight a radius? And the answer is, I'm not going to bend it. I'm going to segment it and re-weld it. That's what all that cutting was about. The old lobster tail trick. I'm gonna weld nice and hot over all these joins and then grind them out later. The lobster tail trick has been used before on many occasions, so it translates perfectly to this chassis design. Ultimately, the frame rail will be a compound curve, so we got the curve, we're just looking for the compound. The old spray can on the lobster tail trick. The oldest technique in the book. Just a lot of work for a little result, but that's all a part of building a show car. The whole thing with this chassis design was like organic. It's got to work around the hood, make it look like the painted part is coming through the mechanical part. Now you see the difference between your standard issue and your refined edition. Your curving, your swooping. I think it's going to look extra special. There you have it, 2 very fine bent frame rail ends. That's the call, that looks perfect. I'll duplicate that on the other side. Uh-oh. Here comes trouble.
Ian, what have you done?
Yeah, things look a little different than you saw it last time.
Yeah, we got pretty much a full chassis underneath there, huh? This is looking awesome. Mocking up that front suspension and having that chassis complete, like it's there, man. Yeah. It's sitting on the ground.
I showed Jeremy everything that's been going on. He's really happy about it. There's no shortage of things to do, so it's a perfect time for some extra hands in the shop. I have an idea about the wheel and tire combo. I don't know what you were thinking, but let's just get this thing so it'll roll forward and back like right now.
All right, I can't wait.
I didn't know Jeremy from anyone. He just called me and said, he builds custom cars and he has one of my projects. So in getting to know him a little bit better, it turns out that he has a few really creative builds under his belt, and him and his father have a company where they do a lot of specialized stainless steel work and car building.
I've got a shop there in Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. I eat, breathe this stuff. It's gasoline in the veins.
That's the thing in working with a client. Some guys are just the idea guys, I'm not mentioning any names. Other guys can get in there and work with you. Always something. It's never smooth sailing. That's why they call it custom. It ain't easy. With this Ford axle and the tie rod being where it is, it's different than these Model A wishbones. I mean, you always run into some situation where you maybe have to heat them, but these are big castings. We're not gonna be able to do that. The reason this becomes an issue is the lower you make a car, the more things get stacked up in a smaller space. When you have a lifted vehicle, you got all this room in here. When you lower it, everything's on top of each other. When faced with an issue, one of my first go-tos is try it upside down, flip it around. I actually learned that from an old gentleman I was working with for years. Steer it. Every time, he's like, turn it upside down. What? Sure enough, it still holds. So it was designed to go in upside down. Look at that.
They just weren't thinking.
It's absolutely perfect. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're way closer. The first step is to make a spacer so I can weld this thing together.
Are you worried about the integrity, the strength,
Well, integrity is my new middle name.
Yeah. What about strength?
Well, strength is built in, baby. You don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to transfer that into this fabrication. Roussel's Strength and Integrity Suspension Services.
Strength.
Strength.
Integrity.
That's it. It's like military training. Radius rods are welded super solid. They look a little funky because there's just a lot of material that's been deposited. Once they're ground down and smooth, they're gonna look like castings. Perfect. So yeah, all this looks good. Now we're steering. We're not hitting anything. It's perfect. Minor adjustments, that's what it's all about. I actually have the original rims and tires for this.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
They were on my Model A that I'm building. I forgot they're all the way in the back of the container. So now that this is back, I think they should go on here.
It's been in the back of my mind what's gonna go on with those wheels and tires, and here's Ian coming from the back, you know, coming from the relics. There she is. It's like holding history.
There's some things that just you gotta keep, you know, you never know. Why not try it out? Look at that.
Right.
Big 20-inch rims, massive
Oh,
calipers.
yeah.
That's pretty tough looking. The only car you have to put the floor jack into the back. See, that's what I remember. That's what I'm talking about. The tires are just above the roof, and the fronts are just like way out there. I don't know why I took it apart. It's a great looking car. The first step in the process is to put a slight bend in these stainless steel rods. You know, I want there to be some tension so the fabric doesn't flatten it out, and also enhance the curvature of the roof line. As I'm just about done welding, yank that ground off so I could drop it in the bucket without melting these wheels. If there's one thing you gotta know about welding when there's plastic around is don't heat it up. And out. So this is the quick, cool technique. That's that. The theory would be that this just slides in and operates. Pull forward. And that's the deal right there. Proof is in the operation, you know, smooth as silk is what we're looking for. I'm always looking to offer the full envisioning experience. So right now I just want to lay out some tape and really show Jeremy how the fabric will behave once it's attached to these bows and folded up.
That right there just mimicked that line on your drawing.
Exactly. Yeah, see, now the roof has a contour. That's perfect. You know, just a little bit, definitely not flat.
Looks good.
We still need to figure out the upholstery, but the mechanics of it are there. I call this a success. Very simple, totally cool. I'm waiting on a transmission I ordered also from Speedway.
It's gonna be nice.
Everything about this project's coming together really cool. It's definitely an enhanced version of what was. The next big mission is to get this drivetrain updated and in the car. Let's see what happens next. This transmission is overall, in every direction, larger than the original unit. Hopefully, this will fit under the dashboard. It actually fits. You know, that transmission is big.
Yeah.
And it still fits under the body and the dashboard. Look at that. With any luck, this big hole in the hood should fit that engine just right. You can see the hood design is set up to showcase the mechanics front and center, and that's where the next challenge begins. How do you feed this engine fuel and release the exhaust?
I like where your head's at.
Behind baggie number 1, open that up. These are Weber side drafts.
Nice.
They go on a lot of exotic cars. They're very well designed, and I thought they would look really cool in the wrong place on this car. That'll make some exhaust, but there's 2 more things. So I was thinking, yeah, check that out.
You a cheerleader?
Exactly. No, that's my dunce cap. Before I start any project, I like to line up all the possibilities, take a look at them, and then get to work. I mean, anything goes. It would be a little more challenging to set them like that, but that's kind of cool too, eh? You know, take a minute and explore the possibilities. Whatever you like.
You can hear my gears turning?
Right.
You can hear it? You can hear that.
Yeah. I've spent my time considering and figuring out all aspects of this car, so let's see what Jeremy ends up with. So, what do you want to do? I mean, it's time to build the cooler version than it was.
I know cooler's better. I still like the way they look sideways.
We have to determine the placement of the carbs. Once we decide that, we can begin to build the intake.
I really still like the way that it was set up originally. I mean, I know some of the nostalgic part of this car was how everything was set up that way. And if they're set up on these blocks and they're that high, you can still get to the spark plug wires and anything like that.
I like that idea. If you want to start on that rear one, I'll start on the front one and we'll fill in the spaces in between.
All right. I don't know if I'm qualified for this.
Yeah, we do have a little quality control course you have to get clearanced on. Is that how you're feeling?
I think so.
In the end, there'll be a few necessities included with this concept, but also some aesthetic stuff. You know, it's got to look cool as well as do its job. We got some busy work tying up this intake. The next part is the exhaust, and that's where it really comes alive. So we got a little carried away, don't you think? We started with just the carburetors. We ended up with these very elaborate arrangements. Now, we were on a roll, burning the midnight oil, and when that happens, you just gotta go on the roll.
So it was like a rampage. We just started and cut, slice, cut, weld, tack.
The big challenge with working with an inline-8 engine is that the intake and the exhaust are on the same side of the block. Kind of lends to an unbalanced look. Our design is gonna really help to remedy that. We're gonna use these railing parts I got from the metal supply. I like to use these on a lot of different exhausts because they give it a cool look, kind of like a super trap, but not really super, just kind of old school. Our building frenzy hasn't allowed us to see this fit up on the car. So it's like, enough planning, let's just get to it. I love the look of those carburetors. The whole concept of this design on the intake is that the carbs appear to be floating. That's the idea with the bracing between the tubes. So we had the hood on when we did the carburetors, but we did nothing about the trumpets and the exhaust. I didn't even think about that. The old build it without the hood on trick. We're hitting the exhaust bracket.
Is it?
Oh yeah, 100%. The proof is in the test fit. Clearly we got carried away. You know, next time you rebuild this car, leave the hood on before you redo the exhaust.
I don't think there should have to be a next time.
Third time's the charm. It's been around the block a few times. Actually, it's never even been around the block. This car has more miles on it than most show cars, and they've all been on a trailer. I think 1 or 2 trims on the bracket, and we're in business. Now, hopefully the exhaust fits. One difference between this and the original intake manifold was I built that right to the engine. Jeremy came up with a great idea to make it flow with the line of the hood opening a little better. Yeah, I really like how the manifolds do follow that paintwork. That's cool. The other one didn't do that.
Yeah, I need littler hands or something.
That's the spice of working with another fabricator, is I had some ideas, Jeremy's got a few, mix it all together and see what comes up. Let's drop it on the ground. I want to see it. Yeah, I thought that the building of the car was the hard part, but you know, this is not like changing the tire on your grandfather's pickup truck. How the heck did we do this last time? Somehow you got to get on top and lower it down gracefully. That's a pretty low car, sir.
Totally different now, right? Doors on, what?
Yeah, it's looking so good, I'm getting ideas.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, I can't wait to take this car apart again. Pretty nice car you got there, sir. Where can I get one of them? Just the fact of seeing this thing back on 4 wheels with a frame under it is really cool. The carburetor setup, just seeing the intake up a little higher, a little more aggressive. I love the new and improved exhaust. The fact that we stayed with the same rim and tire combo is a win for me, and the cloth sunroof is a nice, classy touch. That's the transformation, man, right there.
It looks nice.
Grab your seat, throw it in there. You know, I want to see how 2 full-size humans fit in this rig. Take me to the bar, Jeeves.
Yes.
There's been so much talk on it. It's like, how do you fit in there? How do you drive it? Laying down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, kinda,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, it's relaxing.
All jokes aside, there is way more room in this car than there ever was before. This car is literally like waist high, and the 2 of us are in there. We're not hitting shoulders. There's plenty of room to look around. I think it's gonna work.
Now I know why you built it. I like it. I like how everything looks right now. Almost like a monster mobile, you know what I mean? You got the engine that's sticking up almost right at the roof line.
The thing is, you know, you're looking at this, but you get into a parking lot, and you're just like, periscope up, check all around, and then you're cool again.
Yeah,
It's
you're
that
incognito.
simple. Do you ever have one of those projects, you know, where you just can't let it go until you see what you need to see? We got a little bit of time and a lot of inspiration. I think you and I can nail this. This is my baby.
All right, man, it's gonna be fun.
Back to this.
Dude, it's in pieces again.
Yeah, what'd you expect? I know what you're thinking, and I'm thinking it too. Like, here we go again. Like, where the heck is this thing going? Jeremy and I mocked it up, right? Like, we got all the hard fabrication done, but I want to drive this thing.
Oh, so that's the end game with this, is to drive it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeremy.
I'm with it then.
Before it goes forward, it's got to go a little bit backwards. It's got some secrets, some unfinished business. They got to be attended to before you can go to the next stage. I figured it's going to be better to take it apart, do all the work that needs to be done underneath, take it for a little test spin.
Yeah.
Same with Jeremy, you know, it's like I want to give him the best that I can. So to have him be able to drive this thing, then do all the finished work, I think it'll really charge him up also. Jeremy is definitely a car guy. If I can hand it off to where he sits in the seat, turns the key, and drives it away, then I feel satisfied.
And you never heard it run before.
No.
Ran when parked.
Yeah. So here we go. The first step is to reassemble everything with an eye out for any loose ends. We put this together in a bit of a whirlwind. Now it's time to thoroughly look things over. That's what it is, like a quality control check.
Yeah.
The dogs always miss this, so I'm counting on you. You can never underestimate the importance of quality help at a time like this.
Bass junkie.
Yeah.
That funky junkie.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
What else has to happen with this car to actually make it driving on the road?
Reassemble everything. Then we need a fuel tank, we need fuel lines, we need wires, we need a brake master cylinder, we need brake lines. Tom was in such a good mood that I did not want to bring him back down to earth with the reality of the task at hand. Headlight wiring, taillight wiring, fuel pump wiring, coil, alternator.
That's everything.
Any other questions you don't want to hear the answer to? Another reason I wanted to bring Tom in on this build because he was around when I built the first rendition of this car way back.
When you told me that you're gonna put paint on this car, I thought, okay, no, he's got to be messing with me. But you did it, and it looks cool.
I was under the influence of some serious cowbell. Even though all of my projects are in the full custom category, this one is complete custom, so pretty much everything needs to be modified or changed. Maybe while I'm setting up this axle, you could put this over here and just take off some of the rust. Like I told you, we got rained on.
Yeah, rain in the desert, man, it's a rare thing.
I had no idea how much it rains in the desert. Coupled with the wind that's out here, the rain comes in sideways and just inundated the shop. It was a total flood. Fortunately, you know, the engine and everything was covered, but these parts were sitting out here in the shop and the shop got flooded. Lucky for me, I've got one of the best wire wheelers around. Look at that technique. Doing good over there, Tom. It's coming along. Third time's a charm. So the first time is an idea, second time's a little refinement and check, third time is assembled to drive. Come get shafted.
All right, man, I'm all done.
There's a checklist I need to go through. We're gonna go back to front.
And then do we get to fire it up?
Tom, how can you get your pudding if you don't eat your meat? There are rules. It's a process. There are no back brakes.
All that important safety stuff,
All the important things. That's today's mission. It is one thing to get yourself going, in motion. It is quite a different action to reverse that and stop. Speedway Motors, it's got all the stuff.
Oh, isn't this pretty?
That rear axle is from a truck, so it has the big bolt pattern, just like the front. Fortunately, Speedway had them. Now, if this was my world, we'd be in that thing running, because we're out in the desert and there's nothing in our way. But I do not own this car. I'm gonna play it on the safe side of things. The rear end originally came from a van, and it had big drum brakes on it. So I feel like this disc brake update will be a little bit lighter, stop a little better, looks a little cooler. Yeah, just put it on there. Ta-da. Perfect. So let's pop off these 4 bolts and yank the axles.
All right.
Believe it or not, I did not begin my foray in custom car building with a healthy respect for a good brake system. The car from the first DVD, it only had rear brakes at first, like the original Space Junkie, but if you look at the scene with the first test drive, it had slicks on the back. And man, I came up to the intersection and it was a little bit misty, rain, Yeah, when you're in a real little jalopy like this and all of a sudden you're coming towards something and can't stop, no, you're gonna want good four-wheel disc brakes. You could say I've learned things the hard way. I've had just about everything except that cartoon moment where your feet are dragging outside the car to try to stop you.
How excited is Jeremy to get this car?
He's super charged up, man.
I'm not even Jeremy, and I'm excited.
See,
about this.
everyone's excited. Jeremy wants to do all the finish work at his shop, you know, paint, interior, etc. Like sending your kid off to college, right? Just like tears of joy, tears of sorrow. This is almost like a 20-year project, you know. About 2001 is when I got that thing in stock form. We filmed the whole building of this car. It just never went anywhere. This thing has definitely come full circle a few times. This is like an ancient sarcophagus. You can hear the lid creaking as you open it. At least I can.
Hey man, I've always wondered, what was your inspiration for building this car?
Back when I had that shop in Sun Valley, just trying to make a statement, you know? My name's Ian Roussel. I'm a custom car builder. I got a lot of work under my belt, and I'm just getting ready to start my greatest creation yet.
I've watched you work on it, man. You put a lot of heart and soul into it.
When I first built this car, you know, my intent was to build a super radical show car, you know, something no one had ever seen. I felt like I had something to prove, and this was my expression of that. Most of the work I do for customers is very conservative. I really wanted to just kind of take a new turn to develop my craft to the next level. I just want it to be a total freak show. The car's a four-door, and I want it to be a walkthrough. I want it to have like saloon doors. They open like this. What I've been doing in the past couple cars is just getting books from the library, looking at tasteful design, design theory, great automotive designs through the ages. I knew that I wanted to chop the top low, so I just lopped the car in half, and there it was. The one thing I knew that I wanted from this project from the start in sketching it out was this proportion. Tires being as high as the roof, really long wheelbase. You're laid down in it, driving it, almost like a lakes racer, but more like a custom car. What I'm trying to do with this car is just bring my childhood fantasy to life. I didn't see this car specifically when I was a kid, but all the toy cars, etc., that you would see, drawings, they all kind of felt like what I'm trying to do here. The origin of the car is steeped in mystery.
Steeped in misery, mystery. Who doesn't like a car with a story though, you know?
Oh, it's got a story. There's a lot going on behind this beautiful veil. When I first opened my shop, a lot of people said that I was just naive to a lot of things. That's all I'm trying to do is just be true to myself, for better or for worse. The design of this car was purely a reflection of the way things were going at the time, you know, the early 2000s. The groundswell, you know, the basic vibe was like strict traditional hot rod, almost like a restoration. People were getting pretty darn conservative for whatever reason. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna take all those traditional old parts and screw the whole thing up. It worked perfect. It only went to a few shows, and every time it was out, people were just like, man, that thing is weird, with its pink pinstriping. The general reaction when I finished the car was like, whoa, that's interesting. This car was a bold choice. It kind of, you know, ruffles the feathers. I'd say it was a pretty good endeavor. And voila, disc brakes.
Boom, brakes are done.
That's why I keep you around. Somebody in the shop's gotta know what they're doing. Let's put together the steering linkage, and this baby's a roller. Like most of the mechanical things on this car, the steering gets an upgrade as well. This is all aftermarket from Speedway Motors. It's called a Vega box. It's gonna make it roadworthy. We got steering, we got brakes. Let's drop it on the ground. Yeah, wait till you see how low this car is to the ground. It's pretty alarming.
Holy smokes.
See that? The height of comfort. Lap of luxury. You skid right to a halt. When you can barely see over the tires, you're at the right ride height.
I feel funky like a space junkie.
That's what it's all about, man. Wired up, fired up. Made a lot of progress. Seeing it on 4 wheels, it's looking good. Tom and I are on a mission, and we are getting close to starting this thing. If we can get it to run, we're ready to cruise. This next step is critical.
Oh, yeah.
So this was on your firewall, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's the thing, like, this was your gas pedal right here.
Right.
So when you stepped on your gas pedal, it transferred the action over to this side, and it made your carburetor go vroom vroom. But what I'm thinking is, because it's already set up as this design with bearings, we're gonna put it sideways like this, somewhere in this direction. One rod goes to this carburetor, and look, it makes that one move as well.
That's much more cooler than going out and buying something.
So original Space Junkie was basically all used, old, repurposed stuff mixed in with a little new. So 1948 engine, 1946 linkage, brand new carburetors, handmade manifolds. Perfect fit.
This isn't Space Junkie. This is Space Gunky right here.
If my calculations are correct, voila,
Aha, look at that.
dual linkages.
Man, it's a good thing you keep all this old stuff hanging around. Note to self, quit throwing things out.
While you're doing the oil can polish trick, I was thinking. So I did that mark, see? That ball is that far from the linkage.
Okay. Whoa.
Way off.
Yeah.
My plan of attack is to shorten the longer end. So let's pull it in. We will reduce it in length. There it is.
That'll work as long as it don't hit the...
Or we could come up with a cool little riser instead of like that. Put some holes in it, make it look all techy. That way when this comes down like that. Oh, I like that. We got the function, now we just need the mount. How's that for pretty darn close?
Can I make a suggestion?
What?
It's good. I got an idea. I want to run it by you, and you tell me if it'll work, or if you're just like, no, I don't like that. I'm cool with it. But I gotta suggest before you start drilling into those.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. This is Space Junkie. Think space. I'm thinking
I'm already thinking space.
Starship Enterprise.
Whoa.
All right. Now, I'm gonna grab a couple pieces just to give like an example. Obviously, we would use different materials.
It's not very often when Tom interrupts the flow with a suggestion. I don't know, maybe he's been talking with Victor. He's telling him to offer some enhancements. I'm not sure what's going on here.
What if we came off of here? You've already welded metal here, so why not weld some more? A tab like this with a gusset right underneath coming from here to here. Why not circles? You got circles here, here, you got circles all over Space Junkie. What do you think?
I love that idea.
Yes! All right. Glad to hear you say it, man, because it was killing me to see you cover these up.
Well, what you're describing is more organic. It's sprouting from the manifold instead of being stacked on. It looks like it belonged that way. My policy in the shop is whatever the best idea is wins, and that's the case with Tom's input on this throttle linkage. I don't know what you're thinking with your first idea. That aluminum bar is just ugly. I like your style. You're putting some magic back in. The thing I like most about Tom's idea is that it's very free-floating. I was coming up with this weird, heavy-looking contraption, and he's like, no, it should look organic. It should feel this way. And I'm just like, that's right. I took this big old hunk of junk,
Yep.
cut it out, made this bracket. Plug it on there. I'll work on the second one if that's gonna be good. I tell you, you got a knack for this design thing, man. Sometimes it does take more than one chef.
See, it has kind of like a little bit of a UFO type of look to it.
Yeah, it's just got a little, little arm. The function is there. We just got to be sure that these two carbs work in sync. This rod is a fixed length, and this rod is threaded so you can adjust it. So just to get this one to the same length, I'm gonna put this piece of aluminum as a spacer and see I could thread it in and out. And when you hit the throttle, you'll be pulling from this one. Boom, they both go.
Oh, hey, you did it.
Can you dig it?
Gotta keep it funky for the junkie, man. Woo!
A few more loose ends to button up and this engine's ready to fire. You know, the moment I've been waiting for, or maybe not so much waiting for. Either way, we're gonna turn the key and see what happens. Things are getting pretty close. Almost ready to fire this up. Got all the wires in. As soon as we get this thing filled with fluids and put the last couple spark plugs in, we're ready for a test.
All right.
There's always a shroud of mystery surrounding these secondhand engines I find myself using time after time.
I love it when builds come together and you get to that point where you're about to fire them up, man.
See, that's the thing. Jeremy got it from someone and they said it ran great. They just pulled it out to put a 350 V8 in it. So I don't know. Unless there's a problem with the ignition, it should run.
I don't know, I'm getting goosebumps and like the crawlies on my neck, all full of excitement for this.
I'm glad one of us is optimistic, because I just get the sense of dread. This is the proper engine. I built the car with this style engine in mind. It does come with some unique challenges in that there's a reason someone took it out of the original car. And then there's another even more weird reason why we're putting it back into another car, but that's beside the point. Got the battery, got the switch, got the oil.
It's got oil.
Do I look nervous? I don't feel nervous.
Yeah, you look nervous. What?
Hear that? It's the sound of fuel pressure. That's so frustrating. Now I know how Victor feels when I cut apart his prized possessions. This is definitely my cringe moment. Hear that?
Oh, it wants to.
That was something.
Yeah.
It's cranking kind of slow. The starter sounds funny. It's not breathing life. This isn't what I was expecting. You know, of course it needs a little tuning. It's a fresh start, but these carburetors are pretty exotic.
Yeah.
It's wild. It lays right down to idle and just purrs smooth. Look at that. Totally rad. That's the reason I chose this engine from the start, because of the sound. Wait till the rest of the exhaust's put on. It sounds like an old World War II fighter plane or something. Wow, you notice how sweaty I was 16 minutes ago?
Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling better.
Was that nerves?
Yeah, it was nerves.
You look a lot better, too.
Yeah, I feel a lot better, thanks.
Yeah.
Just hearing this start, oil pressure, responsive on the throttle, this is exactly what I was hoping for, you know? Now, this is the impetus to get this thing all assembled and ready to drive. Woo! My intent from the start was it looks impossible. It looks undrivable. I mean, the seats are mounted to a piece of 20 gauge sheet metal. That's what separates you from the road. The proof's in the pudding. There's two large adult men driving this thing down the road. It's like a sleigh ride.
It's like an amusement park ride off the rails.
Off the rails.
It just oh, man.
You're laid back. The acceleration is there. You know, it's got all that torque in the bottom end and all of these brand new Speedway components. It's pretty cozy. What's not to like about that?
Oh, this is just too wild. Am I smiling like a big, crazy, cheesy smile? I feel like I am.
Tom's kind of having an out-of-body experience or something. You know, he was a fan from day one. He saw this original car come in from the wrecking yard, and here we are out in the middle of the wasteland having a throwdown showdown.
Wow.
I'd say mission accomplished, sir.
I'd say so, too.
I can't wait to show this to Jeremy. He's going to be like totally amazed.
Oh, man.
This is exactly what I wanted to see before I hand it off to Jeremy, you know? Turn key, hop in.
I can't stop smiling.
Right.
Really exciting to see your vision come to life.
Oh, yeah, and that was the thing. Before, it was just pure sculpture. Now it's ready to rock.
Man, it's one wicked, cool, fun ride.
Being that this was a personal mission, I really didn't let on to everyone what was actually happening here, you know? Jeremy's on his way over and he has no idea that this thing's an actual cruiser.